Superdense coding is sending 2 bits of classical information, right? Bits are classical. We could also use entanglement in another protocol to actually transmit qubits, a unit of quantum information. And that's what I want to tell you about now. This is the protocol of quantum teleportation, which appears in chapter 1.3.7. Chapter 1.3.7 on quantum teleportation. So again, notice we're jumping back to chapter 1, which gave us the overview to cover certain important topics. Now that we have the mathematical understanding and we've sort of gone through the postulates of quantum mechanics fully. So quantum teleportation is about sending one quantum state from Alice to Bob. So unlike superdense coding, where it was classical information, now we're going to think about sending quantum information. We are going to be able to do this, but the teleportation itself is not the greatest name. It's not teleporting. In fact, it's going to require that Alice gets on the phone with Bob and tells Bob 2 bits of classical information in order for this to work. So let me show you how it goes. What we are going to have is still entanglement. So I showed you last time how we could create this Bell state, one of them, phi 0. And we did that by the use of a Hadamard gate and then a C0 gate acting on 0 tensor 0. So now, again, we're going to imagine that this is a shared resource between Alice and Bob. This one is going to get sent to Alice, whereas this one stays with Bob. And Alice herself is going to have some other quantum state of a qubit, psi. And what she's going to do once she receives this half of the Bell pair from the shared resource between Alice and Bob is she's going to measure again in the Bell basis, similar to superdense coding, where in order to do this, I just reverse the order of the operation. So here is Hadamard C0. Now it's going to be C0 Hadamard. And then when we do that, finally she's going to measure in the computational basis. This state, psi, is going to be the general state of a qubit. So we will write it as psi being equal to alpha 0 plus beta 1. Depending on what outcome she measures, she's going to get on the phone with Bob and tell him that. And then we'll see that Bob can do either no operations or 1 operation or 2 operation to exactly recover the state psi that Alice had. Okay? So in this sense, it's transmitting a state, teleporting a state, if you like, between Alice and Bob using this shared resource of entanglement. Okay? So we need to analyze this circuit. Let's see how it goes. We're going to start in the state psi tensor this Bell state. So I wrote down what psi is here. So I'm going to have alpha 0 plus beta 1 is the state of the first qubit, and then that's tensor. The Bell state that we prepared here, I won't work through all the steps because we already know what it will give us. It'll give us 0, 0 plus 1, 1 over the square root of 2. Okay? So this is our states at this point in the circuit. The next operation we need to do is apply this C0 gate. And in order to do that, I'm just going to expand this to make it a little bit easy. So I'm going to have alpha with 0, 0, 0. And then I'm going to have alpha with 0, 1, 1. Then I'll have beta with 1, 0, 0. And the last term is beta with 1, 1, 1. Again, I'm going to make the decision here to not write 1 over root 2. Just know that it's there formally for normalization, but it doesn't change the analysis too much that we need to clutter up the board with writing it. So now I'm ready to do the C0. And because we have 3 qubits here, it could be useful to indicate what is the control and what is the target qubit of the C0. So if you'd like, you could put a subscript, C0, where it's being controlled, that's this portion of the C0, on the qubit index 0, and then the target qubit, it's acting on the index 1. So formally, last time I wrote down the definition of C0 for you. It was, projector onto 0, tensor identity, plus projector onto 1, tensor not. And we worked through that, and we saw the interpretation that if the control qubit is in the state 0, then flip the target bit. If the control qubit is in the state 0, do nothing. Otherwise, if the control qubit is in the state 1, then flip the target bit. Okay? So that's the interpretation that I'm going to use here. And so in order to apply this, I use linearity to apply it to each term separately. And now I look at what the control bit is. So this one is in the state 0, so I'm not going to flip the target bit. So this one stays at 0, 0, 0. And it's going to be the same thing here. So I'll have alpha 0, 1, 1. Control qubit is in the state 0, so I do nothing to the target bit. Now in the latter two cases, the control qubit is in the state 1. So in that case, I flip, 0 becomes a 1. And similarly for the last term, control qubit is in the state 1. So I flip the target qubit here from a 1 to a 0. 1, 0, 1. Does everyone see this? Definition of the C0 gate. If control is in the 0 state, do nothing. If control is in the 1 state, flip the target bit. So we're pretty much done. We've applied the C0, so we're here in the circuit. Just need to do one more Hadamard operation. Hadamard is a splitting. So we're going to go from 4 terms to 8 terms. Okay, it's not too bad. We can handle it. It's going to be 8 terms, though. And going to be acting, again, Hadamard. Since I have 3 qubits, I might want to use an index to remind me what qubit it's acting on. So formally, this is Hadamard tensor identity, tensor identity. Okay? And when I do that, I know that Hadamard on the 0 state is going to give me the plus state, 0 plus 1. So I'll have alpha 0, 0, 0 plus alpha 1, 0, 0. Do you see this? I just applied Hadamard just to this first term. And Hadamard acts on the qubit index 0. So it gives me the plus state 0 plus 1. Again, formally, there's a 1 over root 2. So if you had all the coefficients, there would be a 1/2 in the bottom now. But I'm omitting that for simplicity here. Okay. So now I just need to do this for the other 3 terms. So again here, Hadamard on 0. So it's going to be plus alpha 0, 1, 1 plus alpha 1, 1, 1. Does everyone agree? Now I have the beta terms. So beta, here I have Hadamard acting on the 1 state. So Hadamard acting on the 1 state, 0 minus 1. So beta, ket becomes 0, 1, 0. And then I get a minus beta acting on 1, 1, 0. Now the last term will be similar. So I have a beta 0, 0, 1, minus sign because Hadamard acting on the 1 state, 1, 0, 1. All right, so these are the 8 terms that we end up with. And it looks like we made a bit of a mess. But after you stare at this for a while, you realize that something very nice happens. In particular, you'll start noticing patterns. The first 2 qubits in this first ket are in the state 0, 0. There's exactly one other term where this happens. Here it's 1, 0, here it's 0, 1. So you keep looking through, and you see that it happens here. Okay? This is the only other place where the first 2 qubits are in the state 0. And because of this, I can actually factor this out. So let me write this as being equal to, first 2 qubits are the same here, so I could factor out a 0, 0. So 0, 0. And it's going to be tensor what's left, and I have a sum of 2 things. It's going to be alpha 0 plus beta 1. Alpha 0 plus beta 1. Do you agree? This factoring from the tensor product, you could go the other way, multiply this through, and see that you end up with these two terms. Okay? What is the state in parentheses, alpha 0 plus beta 1? Exactly. That's the state that Alice started with. Remember, psi is alpha 0 plus beta 1. So look what happens here. These two qubits are going to be measured in the computational basis. So if we measure 0 on both, then we know that the last qubit is in the state psi. In that sense, it was sent, teleported, transmitted from Alice to Bob. Okay? So that's one of the possible cases here. We have to work through the other ones. Now you just do the same thing. So I look and I see, I go to the next index, 0, 1. So that comes with the alpha 1. And I look where the other 0, 1 occurs. And that comes with a beta 0. So I could write for the next term, I'm going to factor out 0, 1. And what is the final state here? Well, just reasoned it was alpha times ket 1 plus beta times ket 0. This isn't the initial state that we started with, right? The coefficients are there, but the kets are flipped. 0 became a 1, and 1 became a 0. So that's a bit of a disappointment. Is there anything we could do to recover the initial state that we started with, though? There is a certain operation that maps this state to the initial state that we started with. Who could tell me what that operation is? Poly x. I need to flip the bits, and I know that poly x is the operation that does that. So make sure you can see if I applied x to this state, then I would get alpha 0 plus beta 1. That's the initial state that we started with. Okay? So in the case that 0, 1 were measured by Alice, Alice is the one measuring these 2 bits, then she's going to tell Bob, hey, Bob, I measured 0, 1. So then Bob knows immediately he has alpha 1 plus beta 0. It's not the state he wants, but he can just apply a not operation, poly x, to recover that state. Okay? So let's work through the rest of the cases just for completeness, and this will happen in every one. There's going to be a unique operation that can be done always to recover the state. So the next one will be 1, 0, and that appears here with the alpha 0. And the other 1, 0 appears here with a minus beta 1. So the third case is 1, 0, tensor, alpha 0 minus beta 1. Who could tell me what single qubit operation Bob could do in this case to recover the initial state that we started with? Poly z, excellent. So z does nothing to 0, and then it changes the sign of ket 1. So we'll go from the minus beta 1 to the plus beta 1. That will give us the initial state that we started with. And then the very last case is when both qubits are in the state 1, 1. So this gives us 1, 1 tensor. I have alpha 1 minus beta 0. What operation could Bob do in this case to recover the initial state? Exactly right. It's a combination of a bit flip and a phase flip. So you see that it's kind of both of these two cases combined. And so we can fix this by applying a phase flip and then by applying a bit flip. Okay? So you can notice some commonalities between these to say that if we want to write this as a classically controlled operation. So remember, 2 bits mean classical information, sorry, 2 lines mean classical information, that's a bit. And in the cases where the first bit, which is on the leftmost side of the tensor product, was measured to be 1, in both of those cases, we had to apply the Pauli-Z operation. So we could write that as a Pauli-Z operation controlled on the measurement outcome of this bit. And then the last one, you could work through it similarly, will be Pauli-X acting here, and then run out of space. But this will recover exactly the initial state psi that Alice had. So this is a very cool protocol. It's transmitting now a unit of quantum information from Alice to Bob by use of a shared resource of entanglement. Just be careful with the name. Nothing is actually being teleported. These bits of information have to be communicated to Bob. That's limited by the speed of light. So not the greatest name, teleportation, but very useful, very great protocol that's used for a lot of different things in quantum computing.